and adulation he deserves.
It's like unconquered territory. Sort of.
Lights flash, the crowd roars, and Freddie Mercury steps into the spotlight. August 9th, 1986. A night that should have been Queen's triumph. But what if the greatest show of their lives hid a heart-wrenching secret? A fan's collapse, a bassist's shocking outburst, and Freddie's sudden disappearance after the final note. Something went terribly wrong at Nebworth. Was it just the end of an era, or a truth so explosive it's been buried for decades? From Zanzibar dreams to global stardom, Freddie, Brian, Roger, and John built an empire. But their latest confessions and hidden struggles will leave you stunned. How did their dazzling past unravel into today's dramatic revelations? You won't believe what's coming. Stick with us. This is the untold story of Queen's final bow, and it's going to shake you to your core. Let's rewind to Freddie's roots. Born Farrokh Bulsara in Zanzibar on September 5, 1946, he was a child of Parsi heritage, steeped in Zoroastrian traditions amid a tapestry of African, Arab, and Indian vibes. Those 4 extra teeth? He swore they fueled his 4-octave range, a gift that set him apart. At 8, he landed in a British boarding school in India, morphing into Freddie and igniting his musical spark with the Hectics by age 12. Fast forward to 1964. The Zanzibar Revolution uprooted his family, landing them in England. From washing dishes at Heathrow to sketching Queen's iconic logo, Freddie clawed his way up. Then came Killer Queen, a dazzling hit penned in a single night, rocketing Queen to fame in 1974. Compare that to now. Whispers of a secret memoir he left behind, recently unearthed, hint at untold struggles with his health and identity. Once the flamboyant showman commanding stadiums, Freddie's legacy now wrestles with quiet, poignant revelations. Proof his story still burns bright. But what about Queen's rise? It wasn't all smooth sailing. Their 1973 debut tanked, and their second album barely cracked the UK charts. Then, Bohemian Rhapsody hit in 1975, 3 weeks, 180 overdubs, and a defiant 6-minute masterpiece EMI begged them to shorten. Freddie said no, and a DJ's weekend marathon made it a global sensation, topping charts for 9 weeks. Their live shows? Pure theater. A 1975 rig with 168 lights grew to a 5-ton crown by 1986. Yet, the 1980s tested them. Hot Space in 1981 flopped with its disco twist, and Body Language got MTV's axe. Brian May nearly walked away. John Deacon fled to Bali without a word. Today, Brian's reflecting on those rifts in a candid interview, admitting the band almost broke under the strain. Once the astrophysicist guitarist dazzling millions, he's now navigating a quieter life, yet still strumming, still healing. Hold your breath. Here's where it gets wild. Live Aid, 1985. Freddie, voice faltering, led Queen to glory in 21 minutes. Stealing the show as Elton John quipped, "You bastards." That triumph birthed a kind of magic, tied to Highlander. But the Magic Tour of 1986 was bittersweet. Freddie knew his time was fading. Roger Taylor, the drummer who once feared Killer Queen would flop, recently confessed the toll of those years. Financial dips from risky tours and personal clashes left scars. Back then, he was the heartbeat of Queen's rhythm. Now, he's piecing together a solo path, his resilience shining through. And John Deacon? After that final concert's outburst, he's retreated entirely, a recluse guarding secrets from Queen's peak. Once the steady bassist locking in their sound, he's now a shadow, a tragic loss to the spotlight. The drama doesn't stop there. Freddie's solo ventures, like his operatic duet with Montserrat Caballé in Barcelona, showed his fearless spirit. But behind the glitz, financial struggles loomed as health costs mounted. Today, his estate's a treasure trove of lessons, hinting at meticulous planning. From Zanzibar to Wembley, Freddie's journey was defiance incarnate, a kid with a dream who became a legend. Brian, Roger, and John carry that torch, their past triumphs now tangled with present reckonings. The spotlight flares, and 120,000 souls at Knebworth Park hold their breath. August 9th, 1986, Queen's final bow. Freddie Mercury, defying his doctor's plea, pours his soul into We Are the Champions. Voice cracking but unyielding. Backstage, John Deacon's bass guitar crashes against a wall, a shocking outburst from the quiet bassist. A fan collapses in the crowd, a heartbreaking twist no one saw coming. What unraveled that night to shatter Queen's unbreakable spirit? We're diving into the final chapter of Freddie Mercury, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon's saga. Revelations, losses, and financial empires that still captivate us. From their dazzling past to today's raw truths, their story is a roller coaster you won't want to miss. That Knebworth night was electric yet heavy. Freddie, in his iconic white tank top, powered through Bohemian Rhapsody, hitting a high note he hadn't touched in years. But his swift exit, leaving his silver bracelet behind, hinted at a deeper struggle. Recently uncovered journals reveal he'd received a worrying health update hours before the show, a secret he carried alone. Compare that to his 70s zenith, commanding arenas with a half-mic stand born from a happy accident. Once a global showman, Freddie's final months were a quiet fight, yet his music's grip on the world only tightens. Billions of streams prove it. But here's the twist. His net worth, a modest £500,000 in 1975, ballooned to £20 million by 1991, and today's estate could hit £100 million by 2018-2030, fueled by Queen's catalog and biopics. How did he build such a fortress? Brian May's journey mirrors that arc. The guitarist who crafted Bohemian Rhapsody's riffs with a sixpence pick faced near ruin after Hot Space tanked in 1981, straining Queen's coffers. A recent confession stuns. He considered quitting music entirely in 1984, overwhelmed by band riffs. Once the astrophysicist dazzling Wembley, Brian now channels his energy into animal rights and solo projects. His wealth climbing from £1 million in the 80s to £180 million today, with projections nearing £250 million by 2030. His luxury? A Bentley Continental GT purrs in his garage, paired with a vintage Omega Seamaster watch, a nod to his steady brilliance. Properties like a Surrey mansion and a London penthouse anchor his portfolio, while his Badgers campaign reflects a heart-driven investment. Here's the hook. What's pushing Brian to redefine his legacy now? Roger Taylor, Queen's rhythmic pulse, faced his own storms. The Magic Tour's financial risks left him reeling, a far cry from the 70s when Radio Gaga ruled airwaves. A new interview reveals he's grappling with guilt over not seeing Freddie's pain sooner, a confession that humanizes the drummer. His net worth, £2 million in 1986, sits at £150 million now, with forecasts of £200 million by 2030, thanks to royalties and a vodka brand, Stoli Gaga. He cruises in a Porsche 911 Turbo, sports a Rolex Daytona, and owns a Cornish coastal estate. Insurance? Tour policies and health plans shielded his ventures, a lesson in resilience. But wait, could Roger's next move shake the music world again? John Deacon's story is the most elusive. His Knebworth outburst signaled a breaking point. He's since vanished from the spotlight, a stark contrast to his 70s role as the bass backbone of Under Pressure. Recent whispers suggest he's quietly managing a £130 million fortune, projected to reach £180 million by 2030, built on Queen shares and real estate like a Berkshire manor. His privacy is his luxury. No flashy cars, just a modest Audi Q7 and a Patek Philippe Calatrava. Business insurance from Queen's heyday still pays dividends. Here's the mystery. What keeps John so fiercely guarded? Freddie's financial playbook was a masterclass. Beyond Garden Lodge and his Gulfstream jet, he diversified. Art by Picasso, Japanese prints, even cat portraits. His £20 million estate in 1991 now fuels a legacy that could double in a decade. Insurance covered his voice, homes, and loved ones, a blueprint for stability. So, what's the final note of this legend's tale? His voice still echoes, daring us to chase our own rhapsody.